Well, hello, everyone. I wanted to welcome you to the call today. So exciting that you're on. And I know most of you are just starting to get on. So, what I'm going to do is my name is Michael Silvers. I'm Executive Vice President for Global Training for Powerteam. And I'm going to go to my Twitch and start hosting. So, if you'd like to start watch parties, start to host, go to powerteamlive.com and start sharing that across the board. We'll have more and more people come on so they can actually really be part of what's being created. So right now I'm going to my Twitch and I'm going to go ahead and host a watch party, which is a great thing to do because it's not the information is not just for you. You're going to hear me in a minute, so I'll turn the volume down. You're going to hear me double. But what it does is it allows you then to share it with people that you know and they really appreciate because it's about information and as they gather information. There we go. So I'm now sharing a host party. And that's on Twitch. You can do a Facebook. You can stream it. You can do live. You can start a party. I'm going to do that on Facebook too. So I'm going to say hello. There we go. And now I'm going to go to my Facebook, and I'm doing the same thing because what you want to do for your own business is you want to make sure that people you have watching your streams are actually sharing your streams because they're also allowed to and giving it to other people. So right now I'm going on to the stream on Facebook, and I'm going to go ahead and start a watch party. Clicking on watch party, start a watch party. Here we go. Okay, so that what it does is then my friends and people I know are going to be notified that there's a watch party. I'm turning the sound down, but I can see people as they come on and say hello to them. And you can see the numbers. You can't see the numbers, but the numbers are jumping up because that's starting to happen. So whenever you really watch something and through YouTube, share that video too. Share, wow, this is amazing. This is great information that I'm getting. You're about to be wowed today. Really how to create that success plan and speak to sell and be on stage and ask, hey, Paul, how you doing? Ask all those incredible questions you've always wanted to ask. You are going to be on with our CEO and mentor, Mr. Bill Walsh, who has taken the best of the best around the world and the best speakers around the world, put them on stages, train them, people like Mark Victor Hansen and Les Brown, and I could just go on and on and on. And he's going to give you impactful, tremendous information. But what I want from you is I want you to be able to, I'm just going to make sure I can hear too. Good. I want you to be able to share that with people you know. So I started on my Facebook the watch party, which is great. I've already had people join, so that's fantastic. So we started the watch party, and that's a great thing to do. I've hosted on Twitch, so you want to host on Twitch. And with YouTube, you can share the channel, you can get it out there because we're coming to you live from very different media. You want to do that because not everybody sits on certain media. You have to look at the age range. What's the age range of the people that you're working with? If they're 35 and older, Facebook still works well. If they're younger, Twitch is a great avenue. YouTube, you know that because the YouTubers are on there. There's other platforms to work with. And we use StreamYard that punts it out to all these different services. So now we're coming to you from one system, which makes it easier for us. We have more control over where it goes. We also have a stream going of questions and comments from all the different streams so we can be responsive. The other thing, too, is make sure that you get a pad of paper ready. Make sure that you get something that you can write with. And a little sip of water is great. And at the same time, share this. So start your watch party. So I've got my host going. I've got my shared. And when I turn it over to Bill, I'm going to go back into my Facebook and actually start inviting people specifically. So not just a general blast out watch party, but invite people to the party, as we say, because they get the information. They'll think this is great. This is amazing. And you want to be able to do that as you powerfully listen to the call, you take in the information, and then you take a look at the company we're at. Bill's going to tell you about that. And are we also somebody that you want to play with? Because we play well, right? We work hard, we play hard, we get it done. And I'm just making sure we're streaming up. More people have joined. Fantastic. I'm going to send a wave too. So people who join my stream, I'm sending a wave to them. They're getting to know me. They're watching this great information. And we are off and running. And life is really good. All right. Thank you for hosting. Thank you all for streaming. We're about to now get into what were the content, the meat of the matter, and stay with us the whole time. Stay with us. Make sure that you have whatever you need to do to get your business moving. We've put this whole thing virtual. Bill has literally took it it's amazing. 300 events a year, and now we're all over the internet, right? So now we have both. And now we become that juggernaut, and you want to be part of that. And you want to hear what this man did. So without any further ado, he's been speaking on stages before I was a kid. How's that? Is that good? He's spoken around the world. Every time we used to have him in front of thousands of people, he was the one that would enroll them to come buy the products because he put them on a journey and got them where they needed to go. He's worked with the best of the best on the planet and helped them get on stage and speak on stage and refine their businesses, from Les Brown to Mark Victor Hansen to many, many others. He's been on stages of T. Harv Eker and other large companies. He's got a juggernaut of his own with over 300 live events. Powerteam International is here, been here a long time, here to stay, now has a huge international following due to the whole virtual reality side, and virtual is where we're going. Back to live events. I'm going to turn it over to the man, my mentor, one of the most brilliant speakers on the planet I've ever seen. And I've been on all the big stages and spoken in front of tens of thousands of people around the world, and nobody's brought the information like Mr. Bill Walsh does. Everybody give a huge round of applause. And I'm going to find that applause button, by the way. That's my goal by tomorrow. Let's give it up for Mr. Bill Walsh.
Hey, buddy. How are you? Can you hear me?
How are you, Bill?
Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Oh, good.
Yep, perfect.
So, Michael, thanks for all that you do, and thanks for being a part of these calls, and thanks for taking on the live stream host that you are. And thanks, Michelle, from our team, and Cheryl for plugging in to get everybody plugged in for all this cool stuff. Today, we're going to take you on a journey from taking your talent, or something that I would call your gift, right? So just write down your gift, and how do you monetize your gift? But before we do that, if it's okay, let me just share a bit of how we got here. I didn't start out as a speaker. This was not my lifelong goal to be a speaker, but I started out as a trader out of high school and college, and did turnarounds for almost 10 years fixing businesses. Took a couple of years off and decided to help all small business, had a big vision to small business, had a big failure rate, and we could curb that failure rate. And we launched an incubator course called Rainmaker. We then launched a venture fund to invest in some of the companies. We then created the first inspiration conferences, the WIN conferences, something called Ultimate Wealth Camp, one of our signature events twice a year that's all for internet marketing and joint ventures. And from that, I was approached by so many people to put together a speaker program, because they said, Bill, I've been to all these events and I've paid for these speaker courses, but I've never really got on stage. And so if you have a passion to get on stage and you're listening, just push number one. If you have a passion to get on a stage and speak and sell your own course or program, just put a number one in the comment box. And what happened was that overwhelming people kept saying, could you help me speak and sell from stage? And so what I did is I said, why not create a done with you course where over 5 days, we build your product box, we shoot your promo video, we create your signature talk, we teach you how to fill your own events, how to get on other people's stages, but more importantly, how to build a real speaker business. And that was from literally from A to Z, build a speaker business. We then got teamed up with a group called the Small Business Expo. And before you know it, we're in, went from 2 cities to 17 cities, went from 4,000 people a year to almost 100,000 people a year. And in the midst of all that, we launched some book writing courses, internet marketing courses, opened up our own success centers in a couple of cities around the country. But I still have a passion today, and I take around 40 speakers a year. That's just 40. So just begin to think of all the people in the entire United States, and we get to team up with 40. That's it. So 40 that are dead serious about getting on a stage and speaking and selling and taking their offer and taking their magic and monetizing their magic. And the neat part about this, we built it into a 5-day program that is probably the most intense 5 days you'll ever have. Because once again, we figured out that if you have a passion to speak, then you should be on stage. And so I'll tell you the 4 things we look for in a speaker, and this is something that you can't make this up. Either you have it or you don't. But number 1 is you have a gift. It's the first thing we talked about, is that you have a gift, which means that you're really great at something that helps other people. Maybe it solves a problem. Maybe it makes something better. In all different areas, you could be a specialist in social media. You could be in health and wellness. You could be in brain operation, how your brain works. You could be in masterminds. You could be in sales. I don't care. What is your gift? So if you're listening today and you have a gift, just type down what your gift is. Type down, I am great at this. Whatever this is, just type it out. I am great at this. I know there's a delay here. That's okay. But just write it out. Whatever you're great at, I am great at this. Just finish the sentence. It's really fun. And from that, we figured out, are you great at something that serves a lot of people? Is there a lot of people you could actually serve with your program? And then the third part of that is that, is there money in the industry? So we look at this, we figured out, number one, does it serve a lot of people, right? Is there some money in the industry? And the big one, of course, is it something that you're passionate about? I don't mean to look away, but I want you to see this, right? So you understand, how do we come up with this equation, right? The equation was built around a simple idea, right? That, does it serve a lot of people? Is there money in the space? Are you great at it? What's your gift? So these are the things I figured out early, is that number one, and this, I just want to kind of go through this with you, right? That what are you great at? Money in the space, serves a lot of people, and you have massive passion for it, right? So the thing is that I started to realize that most speakers that sign up for courses never speak. They learn all kinds of great stuff, but they never get on stage. I'm looking for today the ones that have a great message and a great story that want to get on stage. Say, Bill, I'm great at this. People could use this, right? And I need some help. And if that's you, I'm going to make this very simple today. All you do is text the word platinum, right? So let me just make it easy for you. You text platinum to 26786, and my team will follow up. That's all it is. And I'll tell you this, that the big secret, there is no secret. You got to go do it, and write down 0 to 100, because 0 to 100 is going to be your practice runs. 0 to 100 talks. And let me give you some lists of places you can speak, just so you know. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. Let me go down the line with you guys. IGTV, Instagram TV is another great one, right? But there's so much more than that. There's webinars, there's telesummits, there's instant teleseminar. There are so many places for you to speak today. Eventbrite now has a whole live event system. You can launch your digital event and live event in the same package for like $12, $13 a month. Instant teleseminar, probably $20, $30 a month. Upload your PowerPoint, do your talk, push a button, build your website for you. You see, what most speakers do is they'll give you all the reasons why something's not going to work. I'm going to tell you that the reason it doesn't work for most speakers because they don't work at it. And I'll tell you this today, that you've got to work at it. If you're not willing to work at it, you're going to find someone else out there that has nowhere near your talent making 10 times your money. Think about how many times you've been to an event, you've been, if that guy on stage can do it, I could do it, right? The only difference between them and you is that they took action and you didn't. So I would tell you today, there's nothing wrong with starting by doing Zoom calls, by doing webinars, telesummits. In the future, go to Rotaries. And these are things you have to have as a speaker, just so you know, right? Get a book cover done. You don't have to have the book. Just get a book cover done for right now. That talks about your book coming out next year. And that becomes part of your story. Go to this website called Haro, Help a Reporter. Just Google Haro. If you're an expert in an area, get yourself published in some magazines as a subject matter expert. But here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to start speaking if you don't know your stuff. You do not have to be a great speaker. This is such a big mistake that, oh, I'm not a great speaker, I'm afraid of it. That's okay. Every great speaker started somewhere. So please write this down. You don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. So as a speaker, number one, what is your talent? What can you help people with? Are you great at it? Does it serve a lot of people? How do I start? I get a book cover done. I do a press release. I loved it last night. We watched the Jordan thing, and they had these long press releases. His press release was simple. I'm back. right? He was a known commodity. So when you start out, right, I'm an expert in this. I'm bringing this message to stages all over the world. Here's my specialty. Here's my free gift for everybody. And before you know it, right, all of a sudden you get something called traction. Traction comes from 0 to 100. Work on the 0 to 100 practice talks. Because the more practice you do, the easier it becomes. So don't worry about, oh, only 2 people showed up. Well, 5 people showed up. It doesn't matter. See, because your message, even though you might do the presentation today, can be played over and over and over again. So I encourage all speakers. Maybe you're not a speaker yet. I encourage all experts. This is the thing that we look for, right? Is I look for experts. I don't know how to make it more clear than this. I look for experts. You do not have to be a great speaker, but you got to be great at what you do. And so when I say great at what you do, it means you've probably been in your space for more than 3 years. You're probably already serving clients in your area of expertise. You probably love it, and you're probably really good at it. What speaking does, it helps you change your game from 1 to 1. Just think 1 to 1, right? See, 1 plus 1 is not 2. 1 plus 1 is 11. If you want to have a multiplier effect in your business, the only way to generate exponential growth is to get outside your comfort zone and then go speak about it. Well, they say, well, if I start speaking, what do I teach? I'm not sure what to say. I would say the wrong things, right? That's okay. You've got to come from your heart. Does that make sense? So what I'd like you to speak about and think about as you go through, right, is that, and this is really a great question for you to ask yourself today. What problem do you solve? So what does you help people with, right? See, I know when it comes to our speaker programs, we help speakers monetize their message, because if they could do it on their own, they'd already be doing it. And we know that most of them don't do it. We know there are so many super talented people out there that never bring their message to the stage. My challenge for you today, if you're watching, is that if you're great at what you do, it helps a lot of people, there's money in the space, and you're passionate about it, just start. Start with your first telesummit. Start with your first webinar. And you might say, well, what do I do? Well, you've got to put out to the marketplace what you can help people with. 7 tips for this, 5 ideas for gardening, 2 tips for being better at social media. Just begin to think right now, right on a sheet of paper, right? Are there 5 tips you could give in the area that you're in expertise, right? So think about how simple this becomes, right? Just begin to think this through, right? Is that, what are your 5 tips? I don't care what your area of expertise is, I promise you, you know 5 tips. So begin to ask people as you get your speaker going, how many would like to learn 5 tips on becoming a better negotiator? Who would like 5 tips on public speaking? Who would like 5 tips on, social media? Who would like 5 tips on PR? Who would like 5 tips how to write your book? See, you can do 5 tips on anything if you're an expert in the space. And now when it comes to your speaking, it's like, well, now what do I do, right? So I can help people with this. I've got my 5 tips, right? I know some of this stuff. Well, you let people know your story. And I made my story very short today because I want to give you guys some content. If you ask me, hey, Bill, could you share with me 5 tips on public speaking? I've already given you 16, but let me give you a few more. Number 1, and this is important, everybody, and I think a lot of people forget this, and I mentioned it already, but I'll mention it again, is that you have to know your content. You really have to know whatever your content is. It does not mean you have a programmed speech. It means in your niche, in your area of expertise, that you know a lot of content about it because you live it. See, I believe you're going to learn from somebody that lives it. When we created the 5-day platinum course, even our 1-day icon course, right? I figured out in our 1-day course, we help speakers learn to get paid to speak. We learn to become better speakers because Warren Buffett said the #1 secret for all entrepreneurs is public speaking. If it's good enough for Warren Buffett to say that, it's the only plaque on his wall from the Dale Carnegie School of Public Speaking. Good enough for Warren Buffett, good enough for almost everybody that's here on this call. But at the platinum level, I said, you know what? We can help people get on stages and take their message and share it all over the world and get paid for it. To me, that seemed pretty exciting because I think there's too many people out there today, and I need you to write this down, that your story is too big to play small. Your story is too big to play small. Just write that down. My story is too big to play small. You guys can type that in somewhere for me, right? See, if your story is too good to play small and you got some good content because you have some tips to share with people, right? So number one is own your content, right? Number two, and this is really important as a public speaker, don't ever forget this, right? And this is something that as you start to do some more speaking, you're going to understand this, is that you have to know the audience, right? So figure out who's in the audience. Who am I going to be speaking to? So if I'm speaking to, let's say, a group of real estate people, right? That's a different conversation than when I'm speaking to a bunch of high school kids. When you take a stage, and this is another big one for you guys, it'll help you a whole lot. This will help speakers dramatically change the game. And how do I get over being nervous? Here's how you get over being nervous. Here's the big secret, right? Write this down. Ask some questions. How many own a business? How many are thinking about starting a business? How many are home-based entrepreneurs? How many would like to grow something new? Who wants to create new streams of income? See, by asking those questions, I know exactly where to take the audience. And that's why I don't like these canned speeches. I'd rather that you speak from the heart. You know, so I've given you 3 tips so far, right? If you want tip 4 and 5, just type in the number 4 and I'll give it to you. No tip number, if you don't write number 4, then I can't share it with you. But what I started to realize is that the more fun you can have with something, the more money you're going to make. So you have to enjoy what you're doing. If somebody types in number 4, then I'll share tips 4 and 5. Otherwise, no tips 4. There you go. Paul, thanks, Paul. You see, that's called an open loop. So Guillermo opened down what's called an open loop. An open loop is where you take an audience on a journey, but this is a big one, everybody, and this is what most people forget when they speak. And I want to make sure you guys really get this super where you just own this. Please write this one word down, right? And this is a big word, and I don't spell so good, but you get the idea, right? Let me just make it a little better, right? The word is called engagement. You need to get engagement. You need to ask questions. You need to have your audience, even if it's in a webinar like this, right? I want you to feel that you're in my living room. You're in my war room today where I'm speaking for today in Lake Las Vegas, right? But I want to feel that we're connected. And so you ask engaging questions. And I want to say, thanks, Annika. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Dr. Janice. Thanks for plugging in and giving the answers, right? But the engagement cycle of a presentation is where you go from good to great. As a speaker, to go from good to great, it means that you know the audience, and now you cannot try to speak at people, you can speak with people by having good conversation. The better the conversation, the better you convert. You see, when we offer this program, our platinum program, it's 15 grand for the 5 days. Plus we get 10% of your back-end sales if we book you somewhere. So I know for a fact that it's only for the most serious of speakers. And that's why you can't just sign up. You have to apply. You have to go through an interview process. Is it a great fit? Are you someone that I can promote after the course is over? Would I feel great about putting you on one of our stages? We not only build your media kit, your product box sheet, your promo video, we put you on a stage 60 days after the class. You send me your video. We work on your video together, make sure that your presentation looks good on the or a member of our team, and on the stage you go. But it's important you understand that as a speaker, give them all the stuff. Don't try to hold back. Give them great stuff. Because the better the job that you do of asking for the order and telling them what the price is, and please write this down, just be authentic. Authentic speakers will always outproduce in the long run those who just want to make a buck, make a quick sale. Forget the quick sale. How about great service? How about great back end? How about great deliverables, right? See, because when I talk about these tips as a speaker, the one that almost every speaker misses, as I do this all over the world, and I just want you to write this down. I want you to think this one through. The biggest mistake they make is they never have something called a C2A. If you know what a C2A is, just type it in. What's a C2A? Because most speakers never have a good C2A. And so I'm telling you today that if you're going to be a speaker, you've got to have a solid C2A. And the C2A will make your life a whole lot easier. You put up this one post. Yeah, if you're interested in platinum, listen, it costs you absolutely nothing to apply. What's a C2A? I like this. Be authentic. Engagement. Great. Thank you. What's a C2A? I love all these questions, right? What's a C2A? It's what most speakers never do. So the C2A that you all have to have, I don't care if you speak to a group of 5 or a group of 50,000. You've got to have something that's called a solid call to action. What is your call to action? And the call to action when you speak at many places might just be to opt into a text. It might be to go to a website that you put on the screen for an opt-in. It might be a free coaching session. It might be a consult. Our call to action today is you can't sign up for the program, but you can go text the word platinum to get the info kit. See if you're a good fit for it. And I told you who we're looking for. They're great at what they do. They can serve a lot of people. There's money in the space, and they're massively passionate about bringing their message to the world. But boy, if that's you, please do not give up on yourself because your story's too big to play small. So those 5 tips as a speaker, right, can make a massive difference. But the last 2, the engagement and the C2A, most speakers never do that. They never have any kind of engagement at all. They finish their thing and they stop talking. They finish their talk and they walk off the stage. They think they're so cool. Listen, if you're not making $1 billion a year, okay, you're not that cool. Get over yourself. You're making $1 billion a year, okay, maybe you need some security and some other stuff, right? But anything under $1 billion, you got a lot of work to do. So I don't care if it's the first person that's there that has a question or someone wants a photo with you. As a speaker, the greater your engagement, the easier your call to action, more business you're going to do as a speaker. And these are all important things, right, as a speaker. And most speakers forget this stuff. They need to stay to the basics. So when we teach something called authentic selling, it comes down to a few things, right? And this is important that you know these as a speaker, right? Is that, and this is something you've really got to understand at a very high level. And I challenge a lot of speakers on this, is that, you know, can you really serve the client? Can what you do today actually help that client? If you can't serve the client, even if they want to sign up, just say no. This might not be a good fit for you. And you'll be surprised how many clients you'll get because you turn people away. When you turn people away for a program, especially if it's a high-ticket program, because you know it's not a great fit, the ones that do sign up, they can't wait to be there. They can't wait to bring a few friends. And I don't think we have any spaces left for this class. A couple people might have a class for June that, because some of our students have to stay virtual, but we'll definitely have seats for the October class or the September class, right? But I'm looking for those speakers that say, Bill, I'm great at what I do. I can help a lot of people. There's money in the space. And man, I'm passionate about it. And if that's you, just once again, text the word platinum to 26786. Talk to our team, see if it's a good fit. We'll go from there. Once again, I tell everybody it costs you nothing to apply. So don't be afraid to get on the phone with a member of our team and see if it's a good fit. But as a speaker, this is important, everybody, too, is that you can never quit. You can never, ever, ever quit. What kills most speakers' story is, and I'll give you this one, I would say it's the biggest killer for speakers and also a big killer for small business. And I don't want you to suffer from this, but a lot of speakers do. And I'll give you this one, everybody. It's called self-doubt. They let self-doubt get in. And self-doubt kicks your ass. See, the minute you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this, right? You're done. You just don't know it yet. To eliminate self-doubt, you stay in the game. You get a little better every day, a little better every day. You know, you look at someone like Les Brown. He wasn't a speaker when he started out. He was doing door-to-door sales of black and white TVs. But he still earned $70 million as a speaker because he never quit. He wrote a book, It's Not Over Until You Win. See, and I think that you take that book one step further, it's not over till your customers win. It's not over till your customers win. But boy, once they win, it's a game changer. Once you go back and through and look at the ripple effect of your work of people you've served that are now out there doing it because you've helped them, that's a life changer, not a game changer, a life changer. So if there's a life changer on the broadcast today that says, Bill, man, I got a big story. Maybe I'm short some of the money. Don't know about all the money stuff. We have great financing programs, right? We'll bet with you. There's ways to work together. But you've got to be committed, and I mean really committed. If you're not going to commit to give 100 talks, you're not serious about your business yet. If you know you've got a message that can serve a lot of people, please write this down. Do not take your message to the grave. Life is way too short. But I know if you're listening today, I know you're committed. You know, some people have been on here probably 3 or 4 times that I've seen them on this broadcast. And yeah, we try to switch it up a little bit, but the message is still the same. You know, I'm in search of experts that have a story, that have a message, teach you how to monetize it. But you can try it on your own too. Don't be afraid of that, right? You can get a book cover done. You can build your own online media kit. You can build your own product boxes. You can go hire some promoters to promote you. You can go hire agents to do all this stuff, or work with us. Make it a whole lot simpler, right? We've been doing this for a long time. I've done more than 5,000 presentations. Between the events I've spoke at and sponsored in the last 10 years, more than 1 million attendees. So I understand the business pretty well, and so does my team. We have a great team. Cheryl Brenner, more than 20 years experience in the industry. Michelle, more than 15 years experience in the industry. Michael, more than 20 years experience in the industry. They've all worked with speakers from all over the world. And I'm going to tell you, they've been around for a while, you know. Michelle's been around our tribe for 10 years. Cheryl's worked with our corporate team for more than 8 years now. Michael's relatively new, but we've known each other for 20 years. So understand, none of this is by accident. This is by design. But I believe tomorrow's greatest speaker is not here yet. They might not even have started yet. But you know for a fact, if you've got a passion to speak and sell and get on stages, please don't wait. Just give yourself the speaker test. Are you great at something? Does it serve a lot of people? Is there money in the space? And would you love to do it? You'd probably do it for free. That's how much you love it. And if that's you, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to get on the phone with you and figure out how can we create a win-win together. I was working with a guy today that just signed up for the Platinum course today. That he was in the rental car business, but he's a gifted individual. He is super wicked smart. And he has a passion to help people. He does programs on inner circle and gratitude right now. And he's like, I can help a lot of people going through a lot of pain because I'm good at it. I've been doing it for a while. And now all of a sudden, right, people are coming out saying, I've got a story, I've got a message. And I'm telling you today that now you've got a virtual platform. Now you can start speaking from home in less than 10 days. You don't got to wait. You can have 10, 20 people on, offer some free coaching. And I'm giving you guys a great tip here as a speaker. Give away free coaching, some free good content. Get on the phone, see if you can serve them. Can you actually help them? Price yourself at around $1,000 a month and up to work with the clients. And don't sell by the hour, everybody. Sell by the outcome. Write this name down, Jim Rohn. What Jim Rohn said was so good. He said, you don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value of the hour. And I'm going to tell you for a fact that, you know what? And if somebody could send, Michael, if you could send Angel the link to the actual, so she could speak, I'd like to bring Angel on for a minute, if you could do that. I see Angel's on here somewhere. If you could do that, that'd be really awesome. All you gotta do is just send her a message and she'll get it. And if this is helpful for you guys, put a 1 down there. Just put a 1 in your comment box. If this is helpful, if you're getting some good ideas out of this, put a 1. And I'd love to connect with you personally, right? I haven't really had much traveling to do, so it's kind of nice. I have a lot more time. You know, I used to spend every day I was on a plane somewhere. Thanks, Hanukkah. Much appreciated. Thanks, Dr. Janice. Much appreciated. But please, everybody, once again, when you start to think about speaking, I'd like you to write this number down. I'd like you to write down in the next 12 months, how many customers would you like to serve? Just write the number down. Bill, I'd like to serve 200 customers, 500 customers, 1,000 customers. Whatever the number is, just write the number down. Super simple. Write down the number of customers you'd like to serve in the next 12 months. Then write down the number you're going to charge them for your private coaching, maybe for your group masterminds, maybe for your workshops, maybe for a boot camp. Whatever it is, I don't care. I'm going to serve X number of customers, and they're going to pay $1,000 a person or $500 a person. Then you break that down to quarters. Then you break that down to months. Then you break it down to weeks. How many people do you have to talk to each week to hit your number, to hit your big number for the year? And see, what we teach our speakers is that you've got to keep speaking. You got to keep putting your message out there. And your message might be the same. You might have the same talk with a little bit of variation based on who you're speaking to, but a similar dynamic of the presentation. And you might give it out every week, but it doesn't matter. It might be a new audience every week. Sometimes people have to hear things, sometimes as many as 10 times before it settles in. Could you imagine that? 10 times before it settles in. Hey, if Mary Jo's on here too, give Mary Jo the log. I'd like to bring Mary Jo on as well. I love to bring guest speakers on for you guys, right? I love for you to hear from new people about what they've done and how they've worked their business. Because I'm a big believer that documentation beats conversation. So, Michael, if you can make sure that Cheryl has the speaker click button so they can come in, I'd like to bring a couple of them on. But the greatest part of the story today is that you got to start, everybody. You got to put something in writing that says, I can help people with this. I am great at this. Then what's going to be the name of your book? You need to have the book laid out. What's going to be the title for your book? Right? You got to get on Haro and get yourself set up as a subject matter expert. From the subject matter expert side, you got to figure out, what am I going to offer? Am I going to sell a group coaching package? Am I going to sell, a weekend program, an online program, a one-day training? You can use Zoom now for your one-day trainings. And we have a package with Zoom for like $10 a month that I got through my good friend Mary Jo, that for $10 a month, you've just set yourself up with a classroom that you can market and sell programs all over the world. I just wonder what the excuses are these days. Oh, I don't have an audience. I don't know enough people. Listen, if you have a message and you have a story and you can help people, check this out. You'll get so good, you'll attract the audience because somebody will tell somebody that tells somebody. That's how we built most of our Platinum Speaker program, because someone told someone to come. And before you know it, they're in the class. And before you know it, not too long after, they were speaking at live events. Or they're doing digitals, doing workshops. But I'm going to tell you today that you've got to get committed. If I would tell you one big thing it's a big challenge for a lot of speakers, right? And if you're not going to commit, understand this. If you're not going to commit, right, to give it 100%, then don't start. Let me just save you all the aggravation. But boy, if you got a passion to help people and it's in your heart, and you know you're not going to take it to your grave, man, start today. Let me bring on a special guest that now speaks all over the country. She runs telesummits, webinars, live TV events, helps people get their book done, help them get PR. She's magical, and she lives it every day. But it's important to hear how she started. And this was not planned. I just seen that she was on the stream here, so I said, let's bring her on. Let me actually take the stream out to Denver, Colorado, and we'll bring on Angel Tuccy. Hang on a second, Angel. There we go. How are you?
I'm doing great, Bill. How are you?
I'm awesome. My hair is the longest it's been in 20 years.
I keep asking Jay if I could cut his hair, and I'm like, I'll just buzz it, and he's like, no.
But it's good to have you on the stream today. Maybe you could share with a bunch of our listeners, share them a bit of your story. I would love that.
Oh,
how did you get to where you're at today?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bill. This is such an exciting event, such an exciting night to have Speaker Mastery 101. And I know that for many people listening, right, this is just probably like hitting you like over and over again as it did me. The first time I met Bill was in Denver, Colorado, speaking at a small business expo. I was in the audience. I had actually interviewed him. I was a talk show host on the radio, and I had interviewed him that day as a sponsor of the Small Business Expo. And he said, when you're done, come, I'm doing the keynote at the end of the day. And he was talking about public speaking and getting your message out. And if you're passionate about it, and there's a lot of people in the space and you do it for free. And when he said we are looking for more women to speak on stages, I just felt this magnetic pull that just pulled me out of my seat that day. And even though I was in radio, you would think, oh, well, she's already a public speaker, but nay, right? It is not the same sitting inside of a private, quiet studio where it's just you and a microphone, you and your notes. It's very different than standing in front of a live audience and engaging and interacting and speaking from the heart. In fact, my very first ever time I spoke, did a public speaking event, I hand wrote 12 pages word for word and stood up just shaking in my boots, right? I was just so nervous. I would have failed my public speaking class in high school. It was a required class for graduating. Had my professor not taken pity on me and given me a passing D, because I was so nervous about standing in front and speaking on, just speaking. Public speaking definitely had that fear. It wasn't something that I was comfortable with. But I attended Platinum Speaker Camp. It was the scariest investment that I ever have made in myself and in my business. Because 15 grand was a lot of money, right? It is a lot. It's a huge investment. But Bill has a way of making you feel confident, making you feel comfortable. He is the only speaker that offers a speaking program that also has stages to put you on. He has over 300 stages, and now he has more because of the virtual opportunities. So not only does he have the platform to teach you, he has the stages to put you on as well. And one of the benefits of going through Platinum Speaker Camp is within 60 days, you get a chance to speak on stage. So 30 days after graduating from Platinum, I'm in Arizona visiting my girlfriend. I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm visiting my girlfriend. We're having a yoga girls weekend, very casual, very low key. And I get a phone call on Sunday afternoon from Bill Walsh, right? On my phone, right? Bill Walsh is calling me. This is like one of those Oprah moments, right? And he says, what are you doing tomorrow? I've got a stage in Vegas. If you can get to Vegas tomorrow, I've got a perfect stage for you. Well, tomorrow was Monday. I was scheduled to host not just one, but two. I was the host of two 2-hour talk shows. So 4 hours of talk radio. I was scheduled to be in the studio for 5 hours. And, so I'd have to change flights. I'd have to find somebody else to fill in for me on the show. I had to call my husband. I had to make all these last minute adjustments, last minute arrangements. And I had to even borrow clothes. I had to borrow a dress from my girlfriend and shoes because I only had yoga clothes with me. So the very next morning, I show up in Las Vegas, my very first ever Speak and Sell from Stage opportunity on a Powerteam stage with Bill Walsh in the back of the room, cheering me on, encouraging me, reminding me that I had all the skill set, right? I'd learned everything that I needed at Platinum. And I had my very first ever successful Speak and Sell moment from stage. 2 weeks later, I walked into my radio station, ready, back to work as usual. And I got called into the producer's office 5 minutes before we were due to go on the air. And they said, we've made a change. And 5 minutes later, I was being escorted out of the building. They had dropped my show, dropped my program, both of them. And my very next call was to Bill Walsh. And I said, I'm hitching my wagon to you. You're teaching me you taught me how to speak and sell from stage. And now I have an opportunity I've got nothing else I'm doing. So I'm going to go on this route. And in my first year, I spoke on over 100 stages. I spoke in London. I spoke I think I was in and out of the country 6 times. And it has been a game changer for me, my business, and my brand. We've never looked back. Bill taught me how to take what I was passionate about, media and PR, package it into a program, into a signature talk, into a digital course that now we teach all over the globe how to leverage the power of media interviews, radio, television, magazines, and get yourself more exposure and to create more revenue from that exposure. So I am in such gratitude to you, Bill Walsh. Thank you so much. I would not be here without you. And I know I've got a whole lot of Media Mastery students here today that are watching because they are ready to take their message to the stage.
Well, I can tell you this, and this is the big thing that, you know, it's always comes down to one word for champions, and this one word is really the game changer. So if some of your students are watching, I want you all to write this one word down, because this one word, I think, was the differentiator without a doubt for Angel. And the one word is a decision. Mm-hmm. You've got to make a decision to win. You've got to make a decision to play. You've got to make a decision to be a champion. You got to make a decision to commit to something. See, when you do nothing, you've actually made a decision. You just don't realize it yet. And what was it for you that helped you make the decision to say, you know what, I've got to do this, right? Fear being there, opportunity being there. But what was the thing for you that said, this is exactly where I need to be, and it's my time? And I know, of course, once you had the success, then it's easy to say, well, I knew because I had success. But before you had that point, for those listening today, right? And when a number of folks have texted in, so please, let me just make sure you guys have this. If you have any interest at all in being a part of any of our speaker programs or working with our team, just text the word platinum. I'll put it up here one more time for you, right? Text the word platinum to 26786, and our team will follow up, right? But I want you to just kind of have some fun with this, is that what was the thing for you that helped you make the decision to say, I've got to be crazy not to do this?
Well, you are so right, Bill. I was absolutely terrified, but at the same time, I was absolutely excited. It was one of those crossroads where I was one foot in terrified and one foot in excited. I knew, and that's where you have to be, right? When you know that you're terrified but excited, you know something big is about to happen in your life, and you're getting out of your comfort zone. Trust, right? Trusting the people that are in front of you, that have that offer in front of you. I did. I just knew that I had to make this decision. It was the scariest thing ever. And I did not know that it was going to be a successful, right? That I did not know what was on the other side. And it was an absolute leap of faith. But here's the thing too, Bill, this was something you taught us. Like, the only reason I wouldn't, like, the only thing that was holding me back was the investment, right? I was passionate. I was excited. I knew this was the next step for me. I knew you were the right coach. Like, there was all this stuff. The only thing that was holding me back, of course, was the investment. I had never spent that amount of money. I'd never made that type of money in a short period of time. But it was one of those, it was one of those moments where, was I going to let this financial decision hold me back from the most potential and making the most impact that I could ever have in the world? And I had no idea that it was going to work out as well as it did. And I am so grateful that it did. Luckily for me, my husband was supportive, and he didn't threaten to leave me or anything like that for making that decision.
Well,
here's the thing too, right? Like,
we love both you guys, obviously. And, you know, Jay's got his new membership site going, so really cool stuff. But Angel, I just want to say thanks for jumping on today. There's always room for you to be a part of our stuff. Our customers love you. If you need help with the PR, need help with telling your story, getting your book done, Angel, do you have a website or something they can go to if they want some more information?
Oh, I'd love to, Bill. Right? We do help you elevate your game, get more exposure using media in PR. You can find me at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. Download a complimentary guide. And I don't normally give away free coaching sessions unless I'm on a Powerteam stage. But if you text the word ANGEL to 26786, the word ANGEL to 26786, I will give you a complimentary coaching call with me.
There you go. And so if you notice, what she did right there is she gave you a great call to action. Mm-hmm. Every great speaker is going to move you down a path and give you a call to action, and she gave away some complimentary time. So if you can get time with people that are knocking it out of the park, you better take that time. Angel, I'll let you go. I know you got a crazy schedule. Thanks for saying hello.
Thanks.
You're always welcome on the stream. Thanks for being a part of our Speaker Mastery Day. So as we finish up today, I just want you to know that I know you got a story. I know there's a story inside of you. I know there's a message. I know you've got a burning desire, or you wouldn't have been on this call in the first place. This call is specific for those that have a message and want to monetize it. Let us help you with that. If there's a way we can work together, win together, this is the perfect time for us to get on the phone and talk about it together. You know, I just know that there are so many great people out there with so many great messages that most people never get a chance to hear. I don't want that to be you. I know for a fact that sometimes it's hard to see when you're going through these challenges and nothing's perfect right now and there's a lot of chaos in the world. That's okay. Amidst all the chaos, you build your message, your story. You work on yourself to get even better. You'll learn to sell digitally. You'll learn to sell live. You'll learn to create great products and programs and services to help everybody. But it's got to be a decision you made today that your strength, your faith is bigger than the adversity you're going to face. And the minute your faith and your story is bigger than the adversity gets out of the way. So listen, I just want to say thanks for plugging in today. I love you guys. Great to have a couple special guests on. And Michael, thanks for always being the most gracious host. And thanks for running our masterminds and all of our course programs. And if you have an interest in running masterminds or local events for us, I'll give you one more text. You can text SBA, Small Business Advisor, SBA, to 26786. Same thing, 26786 is our short code system. But if you have a passion to speak and sell from stage or speak and get paid to go on stages, please just text Platinum to 26786. If you're already a speaker in one of our programs, please share this link with everyone you know. Because I know right now that we need more hope and faith and inspiration and passion in the world than ever before. So I hope you guys got a lot of great notes from today. I love being out. We're back here next week. We've got our Digital Success Summit tomorrow. I've got Bill Walsh Live kicking off this Sunday night for the first time, BillWalshLive.com. It's a live channel. You don't have to log in for anything. You can go to the channel and watch our live TV programming, online TV programming starting this Sunday, and it's going to be awesome. So listen, I'll let you guys go. I'll turn it back to Michael to close it out with any last minute notes, but I appreciate everybody. And Michael, thanks for hosting today. We had a great turnout. Great to have so many great people online from start to finish, and I appreciate you guys. So with that, I'll jump off the call.
All right. Thank you so much, Bill. You know, you want to be, to speak to sell and really to be part of our team and our crew, just text Platinum to 26786. And Bill was right too. The other part of it is if you're a coach, if you're a mentor, if you know how to run a mastermind, if you ever wanted to teach how to do a mastermind, we are building masterminds all around the world. We have virtual masterminds now that you can be part of. You can be part of the team. I'm looking to grow. We're growing exponentially. We have 35 cities covered and growing. We have this whole virtual database for masterminds. Just text SBA to 26786. Text now. And do it because you're serious. Do it because you want to be part of that and part of the growth. And if you want to be on stage and do what those of us who have done it for years and know how to do it and also create this whole virtual network and be part of it, it's that platinum piece too that's so critical. So follow along, get it done. Join us tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have keynotes. We have amazing speakers coming, and we're going to be there to give you a huge content and information. I will talk about the mastermind program and how it works and to join us. And I am head of global training, so connect with me. I literally will text you the minute back you send that in. It's SBA 26786, SBA to 26786. You're all amazing. We look forward to having you on. Don't wait because you'll be waiting a month, 2 months, 3 months from now. Don't do that. We didn't. We shifted, we took it, and we ran with it. You have been an amazing audience. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 3 hours of amazing content. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Goodbye, everyone. No, I have to talk to Bill for a minute.